Okay, so this is our P-Index spreadsheet that we're going to be working with, or something very similar to what you've got. When you first open it and download it, you're going to get the security warning to enable the content, particularly if you're on a college computer, possibly not on your home computer, but most likely. That's because these indexes are using drop downs and macros. Macros are something that can actually embed viruses in things. So if you get a spreadsheet off of some website you know nothing about and it's got macros in it, you could actually get a virus in your computer. Well, this index was developed by the state of Iowa and ISU extension, so it doesn't have any viruses in it. So we're okay enabling the content. So we'll just click on enable content here at the top as you look at it. Let's see it there. And that takes care of that. That way all these drop downs in here is going to work. So as we do the P-Index, first thing we're going to do is put in our erosion. And I'm just going to put in some random numbers here, nothing to do with anything we've already previously done or has to do with any assignments. But I'm just going to tell you a total sheet and rail erosion of 5. Again, if you're doing this for a real maneuver match plan, you probably have to use the Russell program, and then you can bring in the ephemeral and the goalie and a few other things. But we're going to keep it fairly simple, at least for this class, just so you understand things that are going on. The next thing down, as we roll on down, we're going to basically look at everything in yellow. We're going to come down here to the sediment trap factor. And here we're looking at, okay, do we have anything on this farm that is trapping sediments? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I probably got some terraces back there, and I think tile inlet terraces. If you don't have anything, you just leave it at none. But in this case, I'm going to say tile inlet terraces, and that puts in a factor. Keep in mind, we're trying to get this number as low as possible, and every one of these factors is going to be multiplied together. So as we look at things, yeah, be careful when you scroll that you get off of there, otherwise it may change it too. Okay, next is your landform region. So if you click on View, Map, and Choose, it's going to take you to a different tab actually in this spreadsheet. Don't worry about it, you're one of the last tabs there. But we have to figure out, okay, where are we located? In that Kalmar area, we're right here in the Paleozoic area, plateau. So we're going to come down here and we're going to find where Paleozoic, and it's in there. Right there. Now, if you're in Minnesota or Wisconsin and you're doing this on your own farm, it's going to be a little more difficult, but kind of guess what your farm looks like compared to the landforms here in Iowa, and you'll get close. They have their own indexes in those states, so that does run into some differences. We use a spreadsheet in Iowa because we're in Iowa and we're teaching this. But also spreadsheets can be used on any computer. Some of the programs for, like in Wisconsin, I believe they use a SNAP program, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a software you have to install. So to save us installing software, we're going to stick with this. But again, use the spreadsheet, kind of make some assumption on this one. It doesn't make a major difference. It does make some difference, but try and pick something that's kind of close to where your farm is located. I clicked the back button is what I did there. That put that into here, okay, to kind of figure some things. Next is I'm going to enter the distance from the center of the field to the perennial or intermittent stream. Now, if you have your own farm and you're doing this on your own farm and you have it in ArcMap or something like that, you can use a tool in ArcMap to actually measure from the center of the field to the nearest stream. And go ahead and do that. If not, you're going to have to kind of think, okay, how far it is. And keep in mind, a mile is 5,280 feet. Okay, so if it's about a quarter mile, well, you're looking about 1,500 feet, 1,200 feet. If it's less than that, to the nearest stream, I'm going to say, oh, let's say about 800, 800 feet if I can get that typed in there. My keyboard doesn't want to work. There it goes. 800 feet. So that's what I'm going to say. In other words, how far that water going to travel before it actually hits a stream and carrying that soil. Next is, do I have a filter strip around that stream? Do I have a buffer strip created? And in my case, no, everything is kind of right up to those streams, I'm going to say. So I'll say 0 to 19 feet of buffer as we go in there. So it did not change these factors here. It didn't decrease the number, but obviously it didn't increase it either as we look at that. Next is sediment and resid factor. Do I use no-till, tillage, perennial foreign grasses? On our farm, we're using no-till. It's chopped, so not a lot of residue, but I'm going to go ahead and keep no-till as my enrichment factor as we look on that. Go on down, select the type of P-test. Most tests, and most of them are switching to Bray ICP now. A lot of the older tests are Bray 1, Malik. I'm going to go ahead and pick Bray 3 ICP since that's what most people are going with now. I go to my soil test report if you've got one. If you don't, you have to use some type of common figure. A kind of a medium level as we look at that. Common level for a lot of farms is around 30 parts per million. So I'm just going to put that number in there, which is not real high. We've got some farm fields on this farm that's got a lot of manure up in that 200 range. So let's just put the 200 in there. I'm just going to do that just so we have something else in there. And you see it raised that factor quite a bit because of the high P-index. Next, I'm going to click Next button. What that does, it just takes me to the top of the next column. Not a big deal. I'm going to select our county, and again, I apologize for those of you outside of the state of Iowa, but pick one of the northern counties that's kind of closest to your area. It'll be similar. Select the land use. Well, we're on row crops. We are, as much as possible, fairly decent contours on most of our areas. Not, I wouldn't say we're up and down the hill. And I would say probably, for the most part, poor crop residue. Because we do chop a lot of our fields. Anywhere that we harvest grain off of, moisture would be a good residue because of the no-till. But otherwise, I wouldn't say it's good crop residue. Select the dominant soil type. Again, you're going to need to get this from your soil survey. You probably already have that when you did the soil erosion calculation. This farm is primarily downs and fayettes, and I'm just going to go with a 5 to 9% down silt loam as I select that as an option here. Here's my p-test. My test results are there yet. I'm going to go scroll down. We can put now how much fertilizer am I going to put on this farm field. This is other than the manure right now, okay, as we look at it. Once I do a manure plan, I come back here and readjust this. Well, I'm going to kind of think, yeah, I'm going to put manure on there. I'm not going to do elemental P because most places, at least in the Midwest, we express the phosphorus in the manure and the phosphorus in commercial fertilizer on a P2O basis. So I'm going to say I'll probably, got a lot of manure I want to put out there. I'll probably put about 100 pounds of phosphorus on through my manure. Okay, don't worry about elemental P. Select the method. We're going to inject it. So we'll incorporate or inject it within 24 hours. So that keeps a fairly low number there, even though I'm putting quite a bit on as we look at it. Actually, maybe even put more than that on. So I click Next, come up to here. Is there tile present? I'm going to say no. We do have tile inlet terraces, but it's not patterned tile by any means. Does it have the field have good drainage? Yes, we have some pretty good slopes, so that's not an issue there as we look at. So when we get done with it, there's our P-index, 1.96. And then from the video, you understand that's not bad. That we can work with. After I get that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Copy to Reports here in the bottom right-hand corner. I scrolled over a little bit just to see it. And I click that, and I'm going to go to the detailed report. There's a summary report, detailed report, but I like the detailed report. And all those numbers I just put in are going to be across there, and I'm going to call this field 1. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to the calculator, and let's say I just change one thing. And you're going to change several things. So you're going to come to a second field now. Let's say you want to do another field for your farm. And let's say on that field I had an erosion of 8. Okay. And come down here. Okay, that increased that index a little higher into a different class. I'm going to go here, and as I did that second field, let's say I did several other things, but in the interest of time here, I didn't change any other factors. I'm going to copy that to reports. And what you'll notice as you come to the detailed reports, it put that second field in. So you can keep doing that. I think it'll let you do about 8 or 9 fields. If you've got more fields than that when you're doing your own farm, then you'll just have to do the sheet more than once, is what it amounts to. That's just kind of built into the system. I didn't create spreadsheets. I don't have access to change any of that to allow more fields in there. But that's really how we're looking at it and doing the P-index. I hope that helps make sense and makes this assignment a little bit easier for you.